Hey guys, today we're gonna learn the growl.
Okay, so what we will be working with today is an effect, and effects are produced in the vocal tract above the vocal folds actually. So you don't have to worry about your vocal folds taking any damage from this because they're actually not involved in the production of the effect. The vocal folds situated right here above the trachea, right? So you have the trachea here, the vocal folds vibrating, producing a note, and all the muscles on top of that up to the mouth can interfere with the sound and sometimes produce an effect. And the effect is usually some kind of noise, but you can always hear the note, the regular vibration of the vocal folds underneath. So that's really important. We're doing two different things. We're producing a note and we're producing an effect. And for the growl specifically, what happens is there's this leaf of muscle right in front of the vocal folds. That's called the epiglottis, and it can tilt backwards. And back here, we have two cartilages called arytenoids. And when the epiglottis tilts back, the arytenoids can start drumming on top of the epiglottis, producing this regular rolling sound, right? So here's a note. You hear the note is always going, and I can turn the effect on and off. But it has nothing to do with my vocal folds taking any damage or anything like that.
So let's get to it. Let's do the growl. But before we can do the growl, we have to establish our healthy note first, remember? And I don't just want to choose any healthy note. I want to be very specific because it will help you get to the growl easier. So we're going to do the vowel A as in stay. And we're going to be in a comfortable pitch for you. So you don't have to mirror my pitch. Be in a comfortable pitch for you, but try and be rather low. I just find that it's easier to do the growl on a lower note. Doesn't mean you can't do it up there, but let's be down here for the first try, okay? And we're gonna go with the A, and we're gonna have a specific setting for the vocal tract. So that's where the magic happens, right? We're gonna bring up the corners of our mouth, and we're gonna smile, show our front teeth. We're also gonna bring up the back of our tongue to our back molars. So I go up here, and I bring my larynx up. Now, how do you do that? You can just touch your larynx once and swallow, and you can feel it move. And you can also pretend to have a really, really light voice, and you can feel it move. Or you can pretend to have a really dark voice, and you can feel it move. So your larynx moves according to sound, color, and pitch. And that means it moves up when it gets lighter and higher, and it moves down when it gets darker and lower. Now, growl has a little bit of a dark sound, but we don't want to get too low with the larynx. So I like to move up the larynx when I attempt growl first. Kind of feel like the larynx and the tongue and the smile, everything is moving and making all of this a little bit tighter here, okay? So, but only in a way that feels comfortable, I want to say. Sometimes you can move all these things a lot, but it doesn't feel right. So remember, it should feel good. Okay, so before we get to the growl now, I want to remind you that this sound lives underneath the growl at all times. A lot of times when things start tickling or hurting in our throat, we let go of the note underneath the effect, and that's what causes the problem. So I want you to really be able to go back to that healthy note, and in case something hurts or something tickles or you feel like you have to cough, don't worry about it too much. It's just your muscles jumping in saying, you're not doing this right. But do make the exercise easier. Yeah, maybe you have to go down in pitch. Maybe you have to do a couple of healthy notes without the growl. Don't force yourself over the edge of hurting. Trust yourself, but also be very strict with yourself and your health. If something doesn't feel right, it's not right. So here are some images and sensations that can help you get to the growl. Remember to get the setting right first. Up here, tongue up, larynx up, and you just go. The trees are green and clouds of white. I see them blue for me. Another thing that I can really see and feel on my throat is that everything narrows a little bit when I attempt to growl. So if you look right here on the healthy note that is without the growl, you barely see any action, and then when the growl comes in on top of the healthy note, it starts moving a little bit and it moves in. You can really see that little action there. Then another thing that you could try is your tongue being stuck on the back molars. Like, let's say you had some really sticky hard candy and it got stuck back here, and now your tongue is on it, and then you have to bring your larynx up in order to try and get it off. Everything is narrow back there, and then you just go, hey! Hey! If that's the sound that you use when you're frustrated, it will probably just come out if you imagine yourself being frustrated. Yeah? So remember that all these sounds actually express emotions, and you might be using the growl already outside of your singing practice.